Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming at you from my son's playroom once again. It's the quietest room in the house right now. Today I'm going to review Bad Moon, written and directed by Eric Red. It came out in, I believe, the beginning of November of 1996. Stars Mariel Hemingway and Michael Pear. As we all know, if you're a horror fan, there has not been that many really good werewolf movies over the years, especially in the 90s. Besides this film, which I do like a lot, I don't remember any coming in the 90s. It wasn't until the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s when we got Ginger Snaps and Dog Soldiers. And then eventually we got, I know in the 90s that awful American Werewolf in Paris came out. Less said about that, the better. The effects in that movie are absolutely atrocious. But we're talking about Bad Moon here. Bad Moon, if you haven't seen it, there's going to be some spoilers in this review. Bad Moon opens with Michael Pear's character in the jungle with his girlfriend and a group of people that are on an expedition. Him and his girl go to their tent and start to get intimate, and then a werewolf comes out of nowhere, kills a bunch of people that are in their party, and then kills his girlfriend, and then ends up biting him. And if you know your werewolf lore, when you get bit or scratched, well, the curse goes on to you. Then we hop into the Pacific Northwest, where we meet Mariel Hemingway's character and her son and their dog, who plays a huge role in the movie. It's based on a book. I've never read it, but from what everybody says about it, is it's a book written through the dog's point of view. Thor is the dog's name. It's a German Shepherd. And all of a sudden, things start happening. She realizes her brother's in the country. They go to visit, and her brother's living out of a trailer by a lake. And suddenly there's a few murders in that area, and he decides to get out of there, and she invites him to come live at their house. He can park his trailer there. He obliges her, comes and parks his trailer, starts living there. And as things go along, murders start happening, people start disappearing. And she realizes that there's something wrong with her brother. And as we go towards the end of the movie, her brother tries to kill her and her son after he turns into the beast. Now this movie is very short. Even the unrated version, it's only like 79 minutes long. It's very fast. It doesn't take long at all to get through. It breezes by at a shot. The werewolf makeup looks really good. The only part, once the werewolf, they showed a werewolf quite a bit as the movie goes along. There's a transformation scene towards the end of the movie once his sister realizes he's a werewolf, and he starts transforming in front of her. They do kind of like early stage CGI morphing into the werewolf. It doesn't look good. It's probably the most unconvincing effect in the whole movie. But overall, I really like it. It's definitely the best werewolf movie of the 90s, which isn't saying much because there wasn't many, or if there are, they're very low budget. I've never seen them. This movie got a lot of flack on release. It wasn't a hit, although I saw an interview with Eric Red, and he said the studio basically dumped it after Halloween instead of releasing it before Halloween. They dumped it like the week Friday right after Halloween, and they didn't put much money in the advertising, so the movie didn't do well at all. It's since found an audience on video streaming, and it's been released on Blu-ray by Shout Factory. That's how I own it now. I remember seeing it back in the 90s, renting it and checking it out. I've always liked it. It's not the best werewolf movie ever. It's not better than American Werewolf in London or The Howling, but it's definitely up there. I definitely put it in my top 10. I like Dog Soldiers probably a little better, but it's a good movie, and it's short. It moves fast. It's well directed. The acting's pretty good. Mariel Hemingway tends to overact in the movie, but she's okay. The son in the movie's fine. The dog's great, and Michael Pear is good as the brother. He tries to cure himself of the curse and try to figure out a way around it, to the point where even during the movie, he would go out in the evening before it gets dark and the moon would come up, and he would chain himself to trees to prevent him from hurting anybody. But by the end of the movie, you could see him, you know, relishing the power, and he stops feeling sorry for himself, and he basically wants to become the Beast and do whatever he wants at that point. And the dog ends up being the hero. Like I said, this is spoilers. The dog ends up saving the day at the end, along with the mother. I would highly recommend it if you're a horror fan and you like werewolf movies. Not everybody likes werewolf movies. I love werewolf movies. Unfortunately, there hasn't been many good ones. This is definitely one of the better ones that have been out since I've been alive. I would definitely, if you've never seen it, it's definitely worth checking out. I watch it at least once a year. It's, like I said, 79 minutes. It's an easy watch. And I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely a good horror film. And you could tell the people behind it really like werewolf movies. If you get a chance, check it out. I know you can rent. I don't know if it's on any of the streaming services. You can rent it on Apple TV, on iTunes. I'm sure you can rent it on some of the other devices. But that's it for this review. If you like what you saw, click the link down below and subscribe. If you've seen the movie, tell me your thoughts. Leave a comment. I'd be happy to have a discussion with you about it. And have a good one. See you. Bye.